Hello, I am Lisa Marie Benz, and this is the Perfect Wedding Guys internet TV show called Brides Whispers. The purpose of this show is to better connect our brides with our advertisers so they can better see what they do. By the way, brides, be sure to go to perfectweddingguy.com and check out all of our advertisers, and also go to pwgshows.com so you can pre-register for our upcoming bridal shows. And when you're at perfectweddingguy.com, be sure that you click on planning tools as well. That's very important because right now we've got the big wedding website that all you brides definitely want to use while you're planning your wedding. And you don't want to do a wedding without a photographer, which leads me into our guest, Bridget, with Always and Forever Photography. Thank you for being on the show, Bridget.
Thank you, Lisa.
You've been a long-time advertiser with us, so it's about time, huh?
Yes, I have been.
And you live here in Ormond Beach, and the way for brides to reach you is 386-673-3470, and you have a wonderful website at www.alwaysandforever.com. Right?
Alwaysandforeverphotography.us.
Oh, okay, alwaysandforeverphotography.us. And so tell brides, how soon should they book a photographer?
I always tell brides that the sooner they can book, they'll have an advantage to having a selection as far as who they want for a photographer. So the sooner that they can book the photographer, the better off they will be. And it'll make it easier for them. It'll be a lot easier as far as their planning is concerned with getting some of the more pertinent and more important things taken care of at an early date before their wedding.
Right, and how much experience do you have? How many years?
We have been in business for 15 years. And so we have done quite a few weddings and have had a lot of experience with our wedding photography.
And we should also mention it's a husband and wife team, you and David.
That's correct.
So when a bride books you, she actually gets two of you.
That's correct.
Well,
yes.
that's good for brides to know, because you really always need an extra person there, because there's always something you need. Safety pins or Q-tips or nail polish. David could be the person to go get that, right?
Exactly, too. And also if things that I don't see as far as photography, he may pick up, too, and which is better for the brides as well.
Right. Now, and how long would you be at a ceremony or reception?
It would just depend on, you know, we were at the ceremony at least 30 minutes prior to the ceremony. And just depending on how long the bride needs us at the reception, we'll be there as long as she needs our services.
Okay, and are there any travel costs or expenses?
Usually there is no travel cost, but again, if we weren't to travel to, say, Jacksonville or down in like a longer distance away, you know, maybe something like 3 hours away, we may have to have a nominal travel fee, but generally there is no travel fee.
And you usually like cover our territory, right? From Amelia Island down to Palm Bay.
Yes.
But you probably also do Orlando, Miami areas, Tampa too?
We have done Orlando. We've not been to Miami or Tampa as far as the wedding photography.
Because that would be quite a jaunt.
Yes, and that would probably require some kind of travel expense. But I know the economy is difficult, and so I would make it something that would be reasonable, that the brides wouldn't feel that they were being charged a lot of money for their travel fee.
Well, especially if they could hook you up with a nice hotel for the night or something, right?
Well, this is true. Yeah, that would be a nice little plus.
You can have a whole weekend down there and get beautiful pictures of Miami.
Exactly.
South
that would
Beach,
be wonderful.
yeah. So do you offer portraits in any packages?
Yes, a lot of our packages do include a signature portrait, which is something that's a new thing for brides, where we take it a month prior to their wedding and we set it up at the reception for the guests to sign around the photograph. Takes the place of their guest book so they can hang it on their wall afterwards, after the wedding is over, so they can do like a before and after. It can be considered like the engagement picture, and then a lot of brides will do like a nice 8x10 or 11x14 that they'll hang on the wall afterwards, so it's like a before and after of their wedding pictures.
Yeah, when I first saw that being done, I thought, what a neat idea, because usually a guest book just gets put away in a drawer, you never see it again, where with this, it's got a special border. Is it a double matting or something?
It's a matting around the picture, and I know when my husband and I got married, we just had a guest book, and I know it's in a box someplace in a closet that I will never probably look at again, but this is a nice item that people can have, and it's very, very popular.
And it hangs on your wall, and you can see what all your guests have written, like good luck, you know, especially from relatives that may have moved on to other places. So what types of packages do you have available for brides?
We have packages ranging from 3 hours all the way to 8 hours, depending on how long they need a photographer. We will also customize the package for them, so if it's a smaller wedding and they don't quite need an elaborate full-blown package for a wedding, we can customize something that's a little more suitable for what their needs are.
Now, if there's a bride that's seeing this right now, and maybe she's maybe going to elope, like maybe tomorrow, how much time notice do you need before you could, like, in other words, if a bride called you today, could you shoot her wedding tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
We have done them where I've had bride call on a Friday and the wedding was Saturday. So I mean, that's pretty short notice, but we have been able to accommodate people for that.
That's good. I think they call those shotgun weddings, but not so much now. Sometimes people just want to kind of elope, and then maybe they don't want to elope, and then they need a last-minute photographer. At least I saw that a lot.
Exactly.
So, and are you the photographer for the wedding, or do you have other people that work for you?
No, when we book a wedding, it is myself and my husband. We don't, schedule another person to come out to do their wedding. Once you've booked with us, we would be at your wedding. So you would be very comfortable with us, know who is coming out, and it just makes it a lot easier for a bride. Whereas if you book with a photographer, they may have an associate come out to do their pictures. And they come out the day of their wedding, and the bride's like, who are you? And,
Right.
And it's very distracting and very uncomfortable because they don't know who this person is. At least they've gotten to know us over the time frame of planning their wedding and talk to them, and they feel comfortable with us versus a total stranger showing up at your wedding and saying, here, I'm your photographer.
Right, and then by them sitting down one-on-one with you, they share certain shots they want, and you know what they want, whereas if it's someone else shows up, they don't know all that stuff.
Exactly. It really makes a big difference, and it's going to show in the pictures.
Yeah, definitely. You want a photographer you're comfortable with, because if you're not comfortable, your pictures aren't going to look good because you're going to show discomfort in the photos.
Exactly, and that's something you can't recapture, and this is a once in a lifetime.
Even Photoshop can't help that, right?
No, not a frightened look and not being comfortable with a photographer. is
And do you
important.
use Photoshop for pictures too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we do.
That's good to know, because I know some photographers don't use it, and
Oh, yeah.
everyone should use it these days. Don't you agree?
Absolutely.
It's
That
such
is a
it's such-
necessity.
It's such a nice asset. Especially, like, think about it, Bride, if you have a little blemish on your face or something that you just can't get rid of, you can Photoshop it out.
Correct.
Right? And
Yes.
I've even seen some photographers get rid of red eye and all that stuff.
Also, I've seen some of them where if they want to have blue eyes, they can have blue eyes too. They change the color of their eyes in the pictures too,
Oh, that's
which is
neat.
very interesting to be able to do that.
Right, right. And what does the retainer fee do when a bride
Our
sends-
retainer fee is $100. That would be due at the time of the contract, and then the balance is due 2 weeks prior to the wedding.
So for $100, brides, you can get them to secure a date, right?
Correct.
And then the balance isn't due 2 weeks until 2 weeks prior.
Yes.
And then do you just mail them a bill, or you just call, or how do you?
They have a copy of their contract. Once you sign their contract, I do mail them a copy. And then when it started to get a little closer, where I just need to touch base on how everything is going, and I do call brides during the time period before their wedding to see how things are going, if there's something they need, and just to make sure that everything is still on track for what they planned. So
Okay.
it's kind of helpful to keep in touch with them.
And what style of photographs do you take? What would
We
you say
do-
your style is?
We do a mixture of candids, photojournalistic, so there's a lot of pictures that would be taken. So there's different ones that we would do. So you get a mixture of different styles of wedding pictures.
Well, what exactly is photojournalistic? 'Cause I know a lot of brides don't know what that term is.
It's, mainly just, mainly the pose shots and the more of the traditional type of wedding pictures is what that would be entailing.
Okay. Now, if a bride wants half and half, you do candid and photojournalistic? Okay. Do you get a lot of brides that want that?
Yes, they do.
And
There's
then
a
they
lot
can
of-
just kind of pick and choose the ones that they want, right?
Yeah, because we have a website that the pictures are online a couple weeks after the wedding, so then the brides can select their pictures from the internet, and they're password protected, and they can share that with any information with any of their guests that they wanted to see their wedding pictures. And it's nice to be able to, they can actually take some of the images on our website and open them up and change them to black and white, because we do offer black and white photography. So they
Oh,
can
that's
actually
nice.
see the image on the screen in black and white, so they'll know whether it's something they wanted printed in that way once we send it to the lab for photographs to be printed. So they can see whether they want color or black and white pictures.
Do you find a lot of brides still like black and white?
Yeah, they do. There's a lot of them that really like that. There's just something elegant about a black and white picture, depending on where it's shot and what the setting is. It's just so beautiful in a black and white setting.
Yeah, it kind of makes everyone look younger too, I think.
It's just so pretty, and it's coming back quite a bit since years ago when that's all you had was black and white.
Well, I've seen it too where it'll be all black and white, but the flowers will have color.
Yeah, now we do offer that as well.
What's that called? Is there a name for that?
Color? It's a color enhancement.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what they're calling it.
Okay.
But we certainly can offer that, and we have had brides that wanted to have that done.
And
That's something I send out to the lab for them to do.
Okay.
Because that's very tedious, and that's not something I'm going to do in Photoshop.
I saw it once too, where a bride, it was all black and white, but her lips were red, which I thought was, because I like red lips too. So
That's different. I've not seen that yet. Only the flowers, most of the time, is what we usually see. Is the bouquet is left in color.
great, okay. And once again, this is Bridget Behrens with Always in Forever Photography, and you can reach her at 386-673-3470. And trust me, brides, you want to have a good photographer on your wedding day. And you don't want Uncle Joe or Uncle Bob to do it. You need a professional such as Bridget, because that's all you have to remember your special day with are those photographs. And you don't want them to get yellow, and of course yours don't at all, right?
No, we send them to a professional lab out of state, and they do all the printing for us. And they do a wonderful job.
Okay, good. So definitely check out their website at www.alwaysinforever.us. No, alwaysinforeverphotography.us.
.us.
Okay. And happy planning, brides, and make your dreams come true.